We're continuing to work on Duracell's dinghy this week. As the boat gets closer to completion, it looks cooler and cooler. We're very excited about it getting done. Last week, we got the gunnels installed. We built some decks. This week, what we're trying to get done is getting those decks installed, which will make such a huge difference in how the boat looks, as well as working on the bits and bobs like rudders, dagger boards, skegs. So we have a lot to get done this week. My name is Matt. Follow along as I turn Duracell, the legendary ocean racing sailboat, into a comfortable cruising home. Now we're putting perfect fillets inside the cockpit. We're gonna glass the cockpit tomorrow. And so we got these nice fillets in there to lay the glass onto, as well as putting big fillets on the seams on the inside of the boat so we can glass over those tomorrow as well. At some point, you just gotta go, okay. We got one boat filleted. We have 5 more to go. I want to say a word about the Northwest Maritime Center, where I am building our dinghy. The mission of the Northwest Maritime Center is to engage and educate people of all generations in traditional and contemporary maritime life in a spirit of adventure and discovery. They offer all kinds of maritime classes, including boat building classes with Joel here in the shop. I highly recommend a class to anyone interested. Plus, you get to spend a week or 2 in beautiful Port Townsend.
So right now I'm filling all the porosity of the foam. Same process as with the decks we're doing with the skegs. The skeg is the part of the boat. It's basically the fin on the bottom of the boat that gives it its trackability, keeps it going in a straight line when you're under row and sail. We're filling all the porosity of the foam with the fillet mix that the rest of the guys are using for filleting the cockpits. It's just a little bit left over. It's making sure that we don't get any air bubbles in the lamination. In this process, we're able to glass both sides of the skeg in one shot, and then we'll be able to trim them up tomorrow and get them installed. Fabric. It wets out similar to the fiberglass, but the idea is that
when it doesn't want to lay down like that, what's going on?
We finally flipped the boats over, and so we're going around filling all the holes, filling all the seams. next thing we're going to do is put a nice fillet in at the shear plank, and tomorrow we'll get to sand it and glass it. Of course, with every big boat project, there's a lot of sanding to get done. Every morning after a big epoxy job, we would come in and spend an hour or two sanding off the excess goobers we made from the day before. This will only get us ready for the next big epoxy project.
So Logan and I are in the process of laminating the dagger boards and rudders for all 6 boats that we have under construction. Just like many of the other parts of the boat, we're utilizing the PET closed cell foam for these foils. The foils are cut to shape on the CNC. So what we needed to do is go in, we swept all the porosity out with a fairing fill, and then we sanded that flat, and now we're in the process of building up our laminations. By standing up the boards vertically, you can do both sides of the foil at the same time. That's the rudder and the dagger board. It builds up all of our laminates at once, allowing us to be nice and stiff. If we were going to do side by side, we'd have to make sure to keep it nice and flat, because as the epoxy dries, it would want to put a bend in it. Once we get it all laminated and finished, we'll trim up the glass. And in the end, we'll put a couple fill coats with graphite, and we'll get a nice, fun dagger board and rudder that looks pretty sharp, is ultralight, and super stout.
Sometimes I literally have to tear you away from your laminations, honey.
No, I gotta.
Honey, come on. You gotta explain what you're doing.
But I gotta help the guys.
No, but just a quick explanation for our viewers.
So we're putting 2 layers of glass on the whole boat. There's a 6 ounce and a 4 ounce, and we're just drizzling it on and squeegeeing it out.
Or an alternative explanation.
The thingamajig goes into the thingamabob, and then tab A goes into tab B, and hey, voila, you're done.
You got 2 choices now, sail color, white or tan bark.
Uh-huh.
So,
I'll take white, please.
Okay. And then for the hatches, They come in black or white.
What do you think?
Black or white?
I think white.
Okay.
White sails, and I'm going to go with black hatch covers.
White sails and black hatches.
You know, I'm a traditional kind of guy, so went with white sails with the black hatches.
Black and tan. I'm going for like that sleeper look. It's going to look slow but go fast.
White on white.
I'm just putting a fillet under these deck doublers. So this is what the deck is glued to, and we want to make sure that this piece that the deck is glued to is glued well to the boat.
So we have our foam core skegs that we glued up on the vacuum bag table. And so trimmed up the extra glass, got them ready. Our next step is going to be installing them on the boat. In order for us to get these installed kind of in a little bit more hasty manner, we're going to go in with our structurally reinforced epoxy, but about every 6 inches I'll leave a dry spot on the foam, and I'm actually just going to use a hot glue gun, just like craft hot glue. That way I can drop it onto the boat, hold it in place square, and it'll set itself in 20 seconds, and I know it's not going to move around. And then we'll be able to build up our fillets and fiberglass them in.
After the skegs were glued, filleted, and glassed to the boats, we needed to finish the raw foam edge. The boats will be dragged up on the beach and bumped over rocks, so we wanted the skeg to be well protected. Joel found an easy and cheap solution. He went to the local marine thrift store and bought some old fiberglass sail battens that would do the job of protecting that raw edge. We sand prepped the battens and the skeg and used the same thickened epoxy with hot glue combination to glue on the batten. Okay, hit it. I got this end. You like it there? Yeah. The next step before putting the deck on is getting the daggerboard trunk glued in. The daggerboard trunk is just a part, it's just a box that the daggerboard slides in and out of the boat through.
Master at work.
No, the resinista.
Sorry, the resinista.
work on these stringers. We're decked on.
Look at that.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, I know.
Apple?
Thank you. Peanut butter would go great on my apple. We are very excited to get this boat in the water to take our baby boy, who's now due in a month, out for some fun summer sailing. So, before we go any further with this boat, there is a local boat inspector that has to come and look at our boats. Wow. And this one's still dry. She's kind of difficult, but she has to come and look at the boat before we can go any further. So Yanni's gonna go grab her and bring her.
It's like a building inspector, huh? Only
Yeah.
a boat inspector.
A building inspector.
For real? I'd never heard of that. Pretty neat. Wow.
For all the boats in town.
Oh my word.
It's really, she has a bit of a reputation in Port Townsend. And it's just, she works for the port and she inspects all the boats that are made here.
So she tells you that's not going to pass. Does she give you a certificate of occupancy?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, she has a certificate, I think.
You do what? Is that the inspector?
Yeah.
I hope you're ready for this, Logan.
What's that?
So I hope you're ready for this.
This is actually, it's a pretty serious, she's a pretty serious inspector.
Yes, she is. She is. Hello. Well, she has her official vest on
She
there.
does.
I think after a pretty thorough inspection that the boats have passed, barely. Thank you to Cena. He is in New York, but he learned to sail out in California, sailing across to Catalina Island and back. And now he's joined a sailing club in the New York area, sailing J80s and J24s. And he's the vice commodore of the 1 meter sailing club. So they're remote control sailboats, which I love remote control sailboats. I've always wanted to sail one. But anyway, thank you very much to Cena and everybody who's helping support our project. We couldn't do it without you.